something strange is happening. The wealthy residents of San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles, the people who used to define these cities, are leaving. Not all of them, but enough that it's showing up clearly in the migration data. And here's the thing, they're not just leaving for tax reasons, they're fleeing something deeper, a quality of life crisis that's spreading through every major US city. And understanding why they're leaving might change where you decide to live. Today we're talking about one of the most significant American demographic trends of 2026, the Great City Exodus, and what it means for your finances, wherever you currently live. The data on who's leaving IRS migration data shows that since 2020, California has lost a net $29 billion in adjusted gross income to other states. New York has lost over $25 billion. Illinois, $14 billion. These aren't just poor people moving out, these are high earners, business owners, and professionals who built their careers in these cities. But the income data is only part of the story. Look deeper and you'll find a quality of life crisis driving this exodus. San Francisco saw its downtown office vacancy rate hit nearly 35% in 2024, the highest of any major US city. Foot traffic in commercial districts collapsed. Longtime businesses shuttered. Schools in expensive neighborhoods are losing enrollment. These are signals that even the people who could afford to stay are choosing not to. In Los Angeles, homelessness increased by over 10% year over year, even as the city spent billions on intervention programs. In New York, crime perceptions, regardless of the actual statistics, have shifted the calculus for families with young children. Public school quality, commute times, air quality, and even neighborhood safety have all become part of a broader lifestyle math that many wealthy residents are doing quietly before they make their move. The top destinations? Florida, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Arizona. What do they have in common? No state income tax or low taxes, lower cost of living, more space, and, perhaps most importantly, a different quality of life calculus. These aren't just cheaper places. Many of them are actively investing in infrastructure, school systems, and business-friendly policies to attract the very people who are fleeing high-cost metros. The geo-arbitrage opportunity. Here's where this becomes your opportunity, not just a news story. Geo-arbitrage, earning a high income while living somewhere with a low cost of living, is one of the most powerful wealth-building strategies available to remote workers. A software engineer earning $150,000 in San Francisco keeps about $85,000 after federal and state taxes, and might pay $3,500 per month in rent. Move to Austin, Texas. Same job, same salary, no state income tax, and rent of $1,800 per month. That's roughly $24,000 more per year without any raise. Over 5 years, with that surplus invested at a modest 7% annual return, you're looking at an additional $138,000 in net worth. Built entirely from geography, not hustle. For a family, the math gets even more dramatic. Add childcare costs, which average $2,500 per month per child in San Francisco versus $900 per month in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the annual savings can easily exceed $40,000 to $50,000. That's a life-changing number for most households. And it's not only about spending less. Lower cost of living areas often mean lower property prices too, which means a faster path to homeownership. The median home price in Austin is roughly $450,000. In San Francisco, it's over $1.2 million. Even with rising prices in Sunbelt cities, from the influx of new residents, the gap remains enormous. This is why remote work has been one of the most financially transformative trends for the American middle class. For the first time in decades, where you earn and where you live are no longer the same decision. How to execute your own geo-arbitrage. So how do you actually do this? Here's a practical framework. Step 1. Calculate your personal cost of living index use tools, like NerdWallet's cost of living calculator or Numbeo.com, to compare your current city to alternatives. Focus on housing, taxes, healthcare, and childcare. These are the big four. Don't just look at rent. Factor in property taxes, utility costs, transportation, and grocery prices. A city might have cheaper rent but higher insurance or healthcare costs that quietly eat into your savings. Step 2. Secure remote work. First, don't move without the income secured. Negotiate remote work before you relocate, ideally in writing. If your employer won't allow it, this trend has created an enormous demand for remote-first jobs on platforms like Remote.co, We Work Remotely, and FlexJobs. Many companies are now remote-first by design, not by exception. Landing a role at one of these companies before you move gives you the income stability you need to make the transition confidently. Step 3. Target tax-friendly states. The 9 states with no income tax are Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. For a $100,000 earner moving from California, eliminating state income tax alone saves $7,000 plus per year. But also pay attention to property taxes. Texas, for example, has no state income tax but relatively high property taxes, so your full picture depends on whether you're renting or buying. Step 4. Visit before you commit. This step is underrated. Spend 2 to 4 weeks in your target city before signing a lease or buying a home. Use Airbnb or furnished rentals to test the neighborhoods, the commute patterns. Even if you're remote, you still need to run errands, the local culture, and whether the lifestyle genuinely fits your family. Many people move to a city on paper and discover the vibe doesn't match what they imagined. A short trial run saves you from an expensive mistake. Step 5. Build your financial baseline. Before and after your move, track your monthly burn rate carefully. The goal is to widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and redirect that gap into savings, investments, or debt payoff. Geo-arbitrage only works if you actually capture the savings, not lifestyle inflate into them. The city exodus isn't just a trend for the wealthy. It's an opportunity for anyone with location flexibility to dramatically improve their financial situation. In 2026, where you live is a financial decision, arguably one of the biggest ones you'll ever make. Like, subscribe, and share this with any remote worker who might be stuck in an expensive city by habit rather than necessity. See you next time.